The Art of Rest by Claudia Hammond. Why Rest is More Than Sleep, and the Key to a Healthier Life. Introduction. A Call to Rest. Author, Claudia Hammond, an award-winning broadcaster, psychology lecturer, and author of several books on human behavior, brings us The Art of Rest, a science-backed yet deeply human exploration of what truly helps us rest and recharge. Why this book matters. We live in a world where being busy is worn as a badge of honor. Even when we're free, we feel guilty for not being productive. But Claudia Hammond's The Art of Rest reveals that rest is not laziness, it's medicine for the soul. Based on the largest global rest survey conducted with over 18,000 participants, this book identifies the most effective ways people across cultures find true rest. It helps you identify your own rest style and gives you permission to slow down without guilt. Chapter-wise summary. Chapter 1. Reading. Can losing yourself in a book be one of the most powerful forms of rest? Reading is the only form of rest where we enter another world yet still rest our minds. Reading tops the global list of restful activities, even ahead of sleeping. Hammond explains how reading allows us to escape our reality, reducing stress and engaging the imagination in a calming, non-taxing way. Unlike passive activities, reading gives the mind a chance to wander in a focused yet restful manner. Neurological studies cited in the book reveal how reading can lower heart rate, ease muscle tension, and even increase empathy. Consider people in India's rural areas, where long train rides and quiet evenings are often spent with newspapers, religious scriptures like the Bhagavad Gita, or classic novels. Even in urban life, early morning metro commuters frequently use books as a mental escape from chaos. Chapter 2. Spending Time in Nature. How does being in nature reset your body and mind? Nature doesn't demand anything from you. That's what makes it restful. Spending time in nature ranks second in the rest test. This chapter dives deep into the science of biophilia, the natural human affinity toward nature. Being among trees, near water, or even watching birds can significantly reduce cortisol levels and restore mental energy. Hammond emphasizes that even short bursts of nature exposure, like tending to plants or sitting on a park bench, can offer mental clarity. Urban parks like Lodhi Garden in Delhi or Cubbon Park in Bangalore serve as peaceful sanctuaries for locals. Many elderly people gather each morning not just to walk, but to feel the green, the coolness, the rustling leaves, the calm. Chapter 3. I Want to Be Alone. Is solitude the secret ingredient to effective rest? Being alone doesn't always mean loneliness. Sometimes, it means freedom. Alone time is not about isolation. It's about having no expectations. Hammond explores how solitude helps people reclaim mental bandwidth lost to social demands. This chapter discusses how even extroverts benefit from controlled moments of solitude. The author shows that being alone allows for personal processing, deeper thinking, and emotional regulation. In many Indian homes, especially for women, alone time is rare. But culturally, practices like early morning puja, prayer, or simply sipping tea alone on a balcony are cherished solo rituals that restore energy. Chapter 4. Listening to music. How can music become your emotional therapist? Music has the power to hold you and release you, all at once. Music is more than entertainment, it's therapy. Hammond shows that listening to your favorite songs triggers dopamine, reduces anxiety, and helps manage pain. The book explores how different types of music, classical, ambient, or even nostalgic pop, create different restful effects. Even sad songs can be restful because they validate emotions. From the soulful strains of Kishore Kumar to classical ragas like Yaman at Sunset, Indians find emotional refuge in music. Ghazals or devotional bhajans often accompany late-night or early morning routines of rest. Chapter 5. Doing Nothing in Particular. Can aimlessness be productive in its own right? Sometimes, the best use of time is to do nothing at all. Many people in the rest test said they feel most rested when doing absolutely nothing. Yet, doing nothing is often stigmatized. Hammond argues that this unstructured time allows the brain to switch to default mode, where creativity, memory consolidation, and emotional processing happen. It's a space for unfiltered thoughts and self-realignment. Chai breaks in India, especially in workplaces, aren't just about tea. They're about mentally unplugging. Staring out the window or idly scrolling the phone during a quiet moment is often a modern form of doing nothing. Chapter 6. A Good Walk. What happens when your feet move but your mind slows? When the body moves rhythmically, the mind settles into stillness. Walking, not as exercise but as leisure, is one of the most underrated forms of rest. The repetitive movement soothes the mind, promotes creative thinking, and allows a natural sense of freedom. Walking in silence or in familiar places can be meditative. Hammond explores how it aligns both physical and emotional balance. In Indian temple towns, people walk barefoot in circular paths, parikrama, around sacred spaces. These are spiritual, meditative experiences that provide deep mental rest. Chapter 7. A Nice Hot Bath. Can warmth and stillness create mental clarity? Heat and water cocoon you in a bubble of safety and slowness. A hot bath or shower relaxes muscles, releases endorphins, and signals the brain that it's time to wind down. Hammond details how baths create private, uninterrupted time that encourages mindfulness. The warmth, combined with sensory isolation, makes it one of the most physical yet meditative forms of rest. Traditional Ayurvedic oil baths on Sundays in South India or steam bath rituals in Kerala's Panchkarma centers provide both physical detox and emotional release. Chapter 8. Daydreaming. Is mind wandering a problem or a portal to peace? Letting your thoughts drift is not losing control. It's gaining perspective. Far from being wasteful, daydreaming activates the brain's default network, which helps in emotional processing and creative problem solving. This chapter explores the importance of letting the mind roam freely. Structured mindfulness is helpful, but so is unstructured dreaming. Students lying on terrace beds during power cuts in small towns, gazing at the stars and letting their thoughts drift. This common scene shows how Indian life naturally makes space for daydreaming. Chapter 9. Watching TV. Can binge watching really be restful? Television is not mindless. It's a guided escape. TV can offer much-needed escapism, especially when it requires little cognitive load. Hammond explains that while too much screen time can backfire, watching favorite shows or calming content in moderation can create routines of relaxation. Familiar shows, in particular, reduce anxiety and promote emotional safety. Indian families watching Ramayana or Tarak Mehta Ka Ulta Chashma together creates shared joy and relaxation, often turning TV into a bonding plus resting ritual. Chapter 10. Mindfulness. Can you rest better by becoming more aware? Mindfulness is not about stopping thoughts. It's about watching them flow like a river. Mindfulness, paying attention to the present moment non-judgmentally, is one of the most structured rest techniques. It builds mental resilience and reduces anxiety. Hammond discusses various methods of mindfulness and busts the myth that it requires silence or sitting still. It's more about internal attention. Mindfulness is rooted in India's yogic traditions. Vipassana, pranayam, and dhyan are all ancient methods of awareness and rest, still practiced widely today. Key takeaways. Time's rest is multidimensional, not just sleep. Times everyone has a unique rest profile. Time's short, intentional rest is more powerful than long, distracted rest. Time's reading and nature are universally restful. Time's solitude is not selfish, it's therapeutic. Time's rest is not earned, it's essential. 10-point do's and don'ts. Do's. Times do schedule daily rest without guilt. Times do find your personal rest style. Times do use music, nature, or reading as medicine. Times do give yourself permission to be alone. Times do take breaks during work, even short ones. Don'ts. Times don't feel guilty for not being productive. Times don't overschedule your rest. Times don't confuse screen scrolling with deep rest. Times don't ignore your body's signals of fatigue. Times don't compare your rest needs with others. Stay tuned for more updates.